About that. I don't mean he actually controlled my thoughts. I mean that things that I do, it's not earlier in this 2-week period and before I broke up with him, it was almost like I had to watch what I did because I was afraid if he found out that he would accuse me of lying to him or cheating on him, and not even me sneaking around, but just me having friends, talking to people. His cousin, one of his cousins is my best friend, and we've been best friends for 18 years. And he will swear up and down that he didn't have a problem with me talking to her, hanging out with her. But whenever I would see her or talk to her, you could tell there was definitely an agitation about him. He was upset. He didn't like it. But I had to watch kind of what I did with the walking on eggshells, basically, is what I've called it before. But I don't have to do that. I don't feel the urge to do that as much anymore. I think in the last couple of days, I've sort of been like, who cares? He's got a new supply, which is the cause of the no contact. I knew that I wanted to get away from him for a long time because I saw how toxic he was, but the breaking point was finding messages on Facebook where he was talking to another girl, and it wasn't. I just feel like if you are in a relationship with a girl that you don't want to talk to other girls, I don't feel like you need that attention. I'm not saying he can't have friends that are girls, but to me it was a little inappropriate. The conversations he had with his friends who were girls, weren't about, hey, how you doing? It was more complaining about me, which I noticed that he did a lot. He would complain to other people about me. And, you hear a lot about the things that narcissists do. You hear about the turning around of the lies when you approach him about something that he's done or that you think he's done. He turns it around on you. When I approached him about the girl that he was talking to, I confronted him about it over text, and he said, I think you're losing it, or it was his exact words, and that I had gone mad. And I thought, that made me so mad because I thought, you're doing wrong and you're doing your best to lie about it, but I already know. But still, with that manipulation, it puts the seed of doubt in your mind. Like, did I just imagine it? Which I know I didn't. I have the proof. I have, the texts. And anyway, so he has new narcissistic supply. The girl he started talking to, when I broke it off, I said, stop contacting me. You're obviously never going to change. You're always going to want something else. Found out later they had made plans that night. Even though he was texting me saying, I love you. Why are you doing this to me? I can't believe you would do this to me. That I would do this to him. Really. And then a couple nights later, they had a date / spend the night party, which is ridiculous. And so I've come to the conclusion, I've come to grips with it little by little. It still hurts. I made the mistake day before yesterday, of going on my old Facebook, which I deactivated, and I'm still friends with him on that one, and looked and saw a picture of the two of them together. And it was painful, but I think every day it's going to get easier, and every day it has gotten easier. And let me tell you, don't make the mistake that I did. Go no contact. Do not read texts. If there's a feature on your phone where you can send text to spam, which is what I did, It doesn't alert you. You can read the text. You can go into the folder and read it, but don't do it. Give yourself at least a month where you can be in a much more sound place to read it. But, I read his text too early because it made me miss him. If you just get rid of contact completely, it's almost like they don't exist anymore. It's almost like they've died or they just ceased to exist. And you come to grips with that. If you read the text, if you answer the phone, if you listen to the voicemails, you're going to miss them. And you're going to think on it. And there's a chance you might go back to talking to them. So just absolutely do not answer texts. Do not answer calls. Have someone that you trust delete the text so you won't read them, which is what I did. I did end up reading a couple. Delete emails. Anything, delete the number. Just do whatever you have to get away from them. And I'm telling you, it's going to hurt. It's, for lack of a better word, it sucks. It just absolutely sucks because you just want to talk to them. You just want them to be the person you thought they were, but they're never going to be the person that you thought they were. And I think that that's two of the things that I realized that day that I told him to stop contacting me was he was never going to change. He was always going to lie no matter what I did. It didn't matter if I walked on glass barefooted for him. He would never change. And another thing I realized, and this hurts even worse, but it kind of helps you get over it. It kind of makes you mad at them, so you don't want to talk to them. Is admitting to yourself that he never cared. All those things he said, that he loves you, that you mean the world to him, that you were his favorite girlfriend, or that no one's ever loved him the way you loved him. Those were lies. And that's hard to admit to yourself. But when I say that to myself, I realize there's nothing I could have done. Because I think that's one of the hard things that you go through from no contact is that, was there something I could have done differently? Was there something I could have said that would have made him think, or just something that would just click for him and make him realize, just open his eyes. There's nothing you can do. Those people, and I'm a Christian, and I believe it's a combination of spiritual warfare and just your treatment as a child. But they're never going to change. And if they do, and you really meant that much to them, they'll come back and let you know they've changed. And not by saying it, by showing. But you can't blame yourself. It's just like an addict. I've seen so many shows on TV about addiction where the family says, I wish we could love this person out of their addiction. I wish that they loved us enough that they would just stop doing it. There's a reason that it's an addiction, because it alters your brain chemistry. It alters the way of thinking. And no matter how much you love someone or how much they love you, that addiction has nothing to do with love. So this is sort of the same thing, that they don't understand how to love because their mind is so messed up. All they see is themselves. I've heard a lot of different analogies from they live in their own I guess make-believe world where everyone else is fake but they're real, and everybody else that they use is for their own enjoyment, for their own pleasure. They use those people, and then when they're cashed out, they throw them away. I've also heard the metaphor, which is kind of gross, of a bug that lands in a spider web. The spider sucks out all of the life juice from this bug, and all that's left is this shell. And of course, this bug is no longer useful to the spider, so he disposes of it. That's exactly what they do. They suck the life out of you. They use up every bit of your resources, whatever resource they want from you, whether it's love, or for you to just take care of them, or for sex, or for whatever that they want to use from you. They will take all of that, and it sucks you dry. And eventually they just dispose of you. I'm actually glad that I got rid of him and told him to stop contacting me, as opposed to if he had started talking to this girl and just gotten rid of me. I'm glad that it was the other way around. I'm glad that I told him to leave before I could experience any more heartache, because in my own little prideful mind, I wanted to be the one who had the last word in a way. I know that's kind of immature, but when you get hurt as much as you have, when you put your heart into someone, when you put your compassion and your empathy into this person, and you don't get anything back in return except for heartache, you kind of want something from it. And I wanted the last word, and I got the last word. And I think that's another thing that I tell myself when I have that gnawing thought of, should I just text him and see if he'll respond, or text him and see if he still loves me? No, because you'll get sucked back into that cycle of the arguments that mean nothing. All they do, all the arguing and the arguments do is give you unrest. You, the victim. It doesn't hurt them. They don't care. They don't have that in them to care how you feel. They don't, but you're the one who's hurting. So, I know it's hard. You kind of have to go on autopilot, which is how I felt when I first started doing it, because I couldn't have done it. I don't know. It was weird how it happened. It was almost like I knew that was the time to do it. I took that first step of telling him to stop contacting me. Initially, I wasn't sure if it was going to hold. I thought I probably would call him. But I think it was just at the right time, because each day I did it, I thought, I'm not going to do it today. I'm not going to do it today. I'm not going to do it today. And I sort of let tomorrow worry about itself. And each day I thought, I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to be the one who push it. I'm not going to push myself back into that. It'll only hurt worse if I do. So, anyway, if you have any questions, just let me know in the comments. And there's a lot of things I didn't go over. I actually recorded an hour and 15-minute video last night about the whole story, about where all this came from, how I got into a relationship with him for the last year. It literally was right at a year. We started dating October 6th of 2012, and October 9th of 2013 is when I told him to stop contacting me. Prior to that, there were some lies, and I told him to leave me alone. I ended up talking to him that time and ended up seeing him at one point. But he went home and changed his Facebook status to single, which is interesting. Very interesting. Because he said that mine said in a complicated relationship and didn't have a name after it, because we had been in a complicated relationship, and as Facebook users know, once you change it on one person, the other person has to accept it for it to change on theirs as well. So I didn't change it back from in a complicated relationship. And so he went and changed his to single and blamed it on me because mine didn't have his name on it. Whatever. It stayed like that until he got into a relationship with the new victim, who looks like Shrek. And, but I'm not bitter. So anyway, if you have any questions, please let me know, because I really wanted to make this video to help people. I really wanted to make this video to help girls like me, women like me, even guys. If you know, there's a guy with a narcissistic girlfriend. I mean, obviously I've never been with a girl, so I don't know how it would work with them, but if I can help, you know, that's great. I'm sure it works the same exact way. I'm sure that the girls are probably a little bit more manipulative because we tend to be kind of catty to begin with. I think girls have a catty nature about them. Not all girls, but, you know, I think girls can. And one more thing I want to add. I don't know if anyone has felt this way, but as I've started investigating into the narcissist stuff, I actually thought a couple times, am I a narcissist? Because the damage that he's done, and I don't want to be a victim. I don't want to be a victim at all. I want to be a strong person. I want to be happy. I don't want to be a victim. He always wanted to be the victim, but I do not want to be a victim. But I always thought, am I a narcissist? And the fact that he had turned it around in my mind so many times. And I have a low self-esteem kind of to begin with. I'm just kind of a meek little shy person. But he turned it around in my mind so many times. And I actually brought up the narcissistic thing to him before we broke up. And at first he was kind of open to it. He was like, well, I'll talk to my therapist about it. But it was funny because later on when we were fighting, he said, maybe you should look into that and see if you're the narcissist. So that kind of got under my skin, and I started thinking about it. I'm like, am I a narcissist? If you are afraid you're a narcissist, you're not a narcissist, because those people don't care who they hurt, so they're not going to admit wrongs, period. So they're not going to admit that they have a flaw. And to admit that they're a narcissist would be admitting that they have a flaw. So, and I'm a very empathetic person. You know, I cry when I see commercials about little kids on TV who are starving. I cry when I see those ASPCA commercials. I'm a feeling, emotional, caring person. So if they have turned that around on you like he did to me, no. Because if you were a narcissist, you wouldn't even be under the control of another narcissist. I don't even know how that would work. I don't know how two narcissists in a relationship would be together. I think that would be scary. But I think that the people that they attract and the people that they latch onto are the people who will give and give and give. And narcissists aren't givers. They'll give and they'll give compliments and they'll give all kinds of wonderful little words of sweetness. He would always say, I want to whisper sweet somethings into your ear instead of sweet nothings. And I thought, it's more like sweet nothings with you, but I never, said that to him, but they'll tell you anything you want to hear. But trust me when I tell you, it is either a long game or a short game to come back to them. They want it to benefit them. So if they tell you you're so beautiful, they're just pulling you in. If they tell you you're the love of my life, it's just to pull you in. It's just, if they're going to get something out of it, they'll say it. But anyway, I'm running kind of long. I don't want to bore you. If you have any questions, please let me know. And subscribe and like, please, and recommend to any friends that you might have who are going through this with a narcissist or who they suspect may be a narcissist. So just let me know. Thank you so much.